Hi there, and welcome to some girl on the internet, ranking Danganronpa characters and talking about it because she wants to, she can, and I'm bored. Okay, yeah, I'm going to be very opinionated, so some of these might get like really long, ranty type, and some of them just might get put in a tier and never mentioned again. Okay, let's see. First up is Akane, who, for me, she's gotta be D tier. There's nothing wrong with her. There's nothing inherently wrong with her. I just don't like her. She, honestly, in my opinion, shouldn't have survived the game she did. She was very not, I didn't like her. Her backstory, yeah, it's like, I like her backstory and she has some good stuff to her, but honestly, her character development could have been cool, and then it wasn't, and then it's just kind of, oh, she's there and she survives and she likes food, and that's all I can think of off the top of my head for her. And so she's like a little bit below average for me. Like, I thought she was gonna, like, I don't know. I feel like she could have been better. Like, the idea that she was headstrong, like, they kind of went into this with Mekumaru death, but then it's like she's headstrong and then Nekomaru like gets turned into Mekumaru and then she still gets fired at by Monokuma, and it's like I and she still was headstrong, and like she never like changed and realized that sometimes she needs to like slow her roll, like, well, like not change, she did change, but not like really like effective, drastic, oh my god, change. Like, feel free, like, if you have like things proving otherwise, then sure, I'd be happy to hear it. Angie, she's C tier, like, which is basically gonna be this character's average for me. Don't hate him, and I slightly like him, but there's also better characters. Like, that's like my perfectly average tier, in my opinion. I liked Angie for the most part. Like, there wasn't anything wrong with her, but she also didn't stand out to me. Like, Karatula things are funny, and she was very like there, but there was times where she did get slightly annoying. And again, I don't think she got very much character development, like, at all. Like, she did the student council cult thing, but besides that, there wasn't really any big moments for Angie. Now, Asahina's going right up to S tier, which she's probably my favorite character from the first game because she was very like peppy and like happy, and in that game I feel like all of the like happy characters like died all like in the first chapter, and like all the like happy characters like kind of weren't there, and like it's which I like, the happy characters usually aren't my favorite, but I think the real big thing for Asahina that makes her my favorite is the fact of Sakura's death, and her reaction to it in the fourth class trial really, really is something great for me. And I really love Sakura's death and Asahina's reaction, and it was just a really emotional moment, especially like the build up to that moment with both the characters. Like, it is like, this was like a subtle thing, but like they were always together, like from the first class trial. Like, even when they're giving their account, it was Sakura and Asahina were in the kitchen drinking tea together, and that's where the account came from. So yeah, that was cool. Byakuya, he's gonna be A tier. Like, probably my second favorite character from that game. I liked Byakuya. I liked his hoity-toity, like, I'm better than you ness. I don't have a better word for it. I liked him, and he had like that whole, yeah, I'm better than you kind of personality, but at the same time he also like had his own flaws, and I do wish like the emotion thing came up a bit sooner. Like, again, this is fourth trial. Like, just a bit sooner, where he, like, it became like he doesn't, like, know how to handle, like, it does get implied sooner, but I think, like, he needed to be, like, proven wrong sooner, so he could have gotten, like, a cooler ending arc, which, if, like, to give him more time for an ending arc, to give him more time to be like, oh, wait, like, people's emotions have feelings, and him trying to be nicer would have been cool to see, but, you know, it is what it is. I like Byakuya still. Celestia Ludenberg is going to be at B tier for me. Now, for Celestia, like, I think a big thing a lot of people know on Celestia's character is she is often, like, she's one of the case 3 murderers, which people hate a lot, and honestly, I don't hate her murders. I think they're the best out of the case 3 trio. I like Celestia. Like, her whole, like, lying thing was really cool. And, like, especially the moment in the trial where she's, like, snaps and she's like, my name is Celestia Ludenberg. And, like, the subtle, I'm pretty sure this was a thing. The detail of this was a voice acting thing. The detail of her, like, fake accent thing that she had going on, like, dropping when she, like, went insane, like, when she was, like, upset. But for the most part, she was very cool and collected, and she was pretty good in trials too. The time, like, from what I can remember, she was pretty good in trials. She was horrible, and she did, like, she was pretty helpful. She was pretty smart, and I like the liar aspect of the character. Now, Chiaki. Chiaki. This is gonna be weird. Chiaki's with Angie. I honestly don't like Chiaki that much. Like, Chiaki's character, it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like all the hype of it. It sounds so weird to say, like, because I know I'm going to rank some of these really high later on, and I'm going to, like, the overhyped characters might get ranked higher later on, but Chiaki as a character, she in general was not, like, one of my favorites. She was there, but she felt very cookie cutter in a way. Like, she was very sweet and kind and had, like, her little details. And she was good at solving the cases. She was helpful. But I don't know why I didn't, like, I had no reason not to like her. But at the same time, I had no reason to like her. She's just very average for me. She just didn't hit, like, close to me where I liked her a lot. Chihiro Fujisaki is gonna go with Celestia. I like Chihiro. Chihiro is a nice character. He was sweet. He was, like, I thought he was gonna be my favorite character when I started the second game, and true, I do still like Chihiro. Like, the alter ego thing ended up being really helpful, and he was, like, really sweet, really nice character. Nothing ever mean, and I don't really have a lot to say about Chihiro. But I did like his gender reveal. His gender reveal thing was really cool. Oh, and the alter ego computer smash execution was kind of funny. Like, how overkill it was. Like, to smash Chihiro's computer. Which is, and then it got the Monokuma red eye thing imprinted on it once it was smashed. So yeah, that was cool. The ultimate imposter is also going in the B tier. Like, I like him, like, pretty, I like him. There's not really much to say. He's not, like, the best character ever, and honestly, I do sometimes forget he exists. But, like, when I, like, went back, I, and actually really ended up liking his character, because he was very nice and very sweet. Not sweet, but, like, not like sweet nice, but, like, he was helping everyone out in his own way. Like, like, and here's the thing, despite being an imposter to Byakuya, he was also different, and he had somewhat of a character arc. Like, I thought Byakuya was gonna, like, could have had, like, he had that whole, oh, I'm, I'm helping out because I'm nice. Like, he was helping out in his own way. Like, not, like, he wasn't the nicest person ever, but he was helping out the group still, just differently from the way most people would help out. Next is Fujihiko. He's here twice. I think they consider eye patch Fujihiko not eye patch. You know what? Let's just rank him twice. With his eye patch, I think my favorite survivor from the second game. The second game survivors weren't I didn't really love them, but the second game survivors were really cool. Not really cool, but like out of them, Fujihiko is really cool. And I liked his character arc with Peko, like, and I think it worked. The reason his character arc worked so well too with Peko was they established he was a Stark main character by the fact he didn't attend any of the stuff. And then when Peko like dies, and he because it happens so Peko's death is it's late enough into the game where like it's like you've had enough time to see mean Fujihiko and know he's mean, but at the same time it's early enough where it's like, oh, Peko's thing can give him a real arc and get him a nice character thing. Pre-game Fujihiko isn't going to be as high, probably going to put him with Byakuya. Like, I like him, and it was kind of funny how his like catchphrase thing was bastard. But besides that, he wasn't really special. Like, actually, let's put him down more. Yeah, pre eye patch Fujihiko before Peko, it was like very just angry, like child, like very angry child. Like, I don't know. Gonta, S tier. Gonta, I love Gonta. Gonta was so sweet the whole time, and he was so like nice and caring, and I was so sad when he died. Like when when Gonta died, I was like, oh my God. That moment like before his death where it's like him and Kokichi and the whole trial where he's like he didn't I don't know. Like Gonta not know, Gonta really not know was really sad to me because he killed someone. Like, and yeah, that's not an easily forgivable act. But at the same time, he didn't know he killed someone, and it makes it worse when he has to be executed. And then like, I was even sad with Alter Ego Gonta. Like they executed Alter Ego Gonta too. I like honestly was hoping that they would keep Alter Ego Gonta alive, and then it would be like a Chihiro situation where he had like Alter Ego Chihiro. But no, he was executed too. And we lost both Gontas. And it was sad. Next is Gundam Tanaka. I'm being so stupid. I love Gundam too. The Four Dark Days of Destruction, the fourth class trial is heartbreaking, like absolutely heartbreaking. Especially like when he like did it for a good reason, but at the same time like he's still playing the villain act. And he was very dramatic, and I didn't like the better part of me knew he wasn't gonna make it to the end because he was so dramatic. Like him, like I kind of figured like characters like him wouldn't make it to the end because he was like so over the top about it. But then again, I was like holding out hope because I was like, oh, but Toko survived, and if Toko could survive, maybe Gundam can survive. But no, Gundam did not survive. Gundam was executed, and his execution is honestly kind of sad to me, especially when he's like going to heaven, and he's all like, I'm sad. I'm like, and then his hamster's crying. Like, it was really sad to me, and I liked his dynamic with Sonya, and the idea that this like dark villain character has hamsters, like little like hamsters that he carries around, and it was really sweet. Um, Hajime. Hajime is gonna go. Oh no, yeah, we'll put him here. Hajime, I liked Hajime, and his whole like thing at the end where he was doubting his identity was really good. I really liked the doubting identity thing with Hajime. But at the same time, he was he was a good protagonist. They liked him as protagonist, better than Makoto. And we'll get to Makoto later. But he was very just like an all-around good protagonist, and I feel like he had slightly more of a personality than Makoto. Like more of a, like he was very stubborn though. Like I remember him being very stubborn, and the other thing I remember is he like ran across the island, like run. Like the whole side things where you could see his legs are running across the island was funny. Okay, Hifumi. That's that's literally. I don't like Hifumi. Like honestly, it's probably not a surprise. Most people don't like Hifumi, but he just I there's good reason why. Like he was that character in the game like when you're playing the game and you're just like, okay, it's a killing game. These characters are gonna die. When's he gonna die? Come on. Like, come on, die. Like, come on, die. Like, he, like, he didn't really get a good character arc at all, which is sad. Like, maybe I'd like him better if he got a better, like, character arc or something. I'm not sure. But Hifumi also was very just manga related and kind of perverted, but, like, it was weird, like, because I like Teru better than I like Hifumi, which is, like, kind of weird to say. But, like, Hifumi was just, like, manga, and I think it was like not very tolerable. Like in the first part, it was annoying, and then it just like the longer he lived, the more annoying it seemed. He's not very smart, like not very anything, and he didn't help in trials very much. And his design is overall like unsettling to me because like what even is that? Like what is his hair? It's like I don't know. I just don't like Hifumi. Next is Himiko, and Himiko is gonna go up here with Byakuya. That was like a weird one. I was like, wait. Himiko, I like Himiko. She, like, I know a lot of people don't like her, which is like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't. Like, yeah, she survived this third game, like, and it's like, was like really made her one of the three survivors, which, yeah, I get that, but at the same time, Himiko was a cute character, very, like, yeah. And I didn't hate her. She was nice, and at the same time, she had her whole, it's magic. I liked her. I just liked her character. And I feel like part of the reason a lot of people don't like her is because she survived when there was characters that probably would have made more sense to survive or would have been better to survive. Now, Hyoko. This is going to be another unpopular opinion. I actually like Kyoko. I'm one of those people. Like, hear me out. Like, I know a lot of people hate Kyoko, and were like, I remember like the comments were on a playthrough I was watching in Danganronpa 2, and it was like, oh my god, thank god Hyoko's dead. Finally, Hyoko's dead. Like, God, like, Atua bless, Hyoko is dead. And I was like, no, like, here's the thing with Hyoko, too. Like, that kind of upset me. She was supposed to survive the second game, and I think they scrapped her survival for Fujihiko, if I'm correct, which I also like Fujihiko, but they scrapped her survival because if Fujihiko died, Pekko's death would have been meaningless, which yes, it would have. But she was starting to get a character arc and trying to be nicer. And like she had a lot of good character moments where she was like for example when she made her shrine for Mahiru, like her memorial for them, and they were all like, burn it, burn it. And then she's like, yeah, yeah, burn it. Like, whoever made this is so disrespectful. And then, like, and even though she made it, because she just, like, didn't want to feel, like, mean. And it was so sweet. Like, I feel like she could have had a really good character arc. Like, and then when she was cheering on Ibuki's music, even though Ibuki was, like, really, like, everyone hated Ibuki's music, but she still cheered it on. Like, I feel like that was like a character development moment because originally Kyoko probably would have been like, oh my god, Ibuki, your music sucks. But she cheered it on, and that was really sweet. And I think it's just the way she deals with things. And then the second victim to Mikan's really stupid murder is Ibuki, who I also really liked. So Ibuki was really sweet, very up cheery, and I liked her cheery character. She was very like, haha, I'm. She was a comic relief character, but I liked her as a comic relief character, and she also was kind of smart, and her third person, like her whole speaking in the third person thing was endearing. I don't really have much to say. Um, this version of Ishimaru, I forgot his name. He has a name. I know his name is different, but I don't remember what it is at the moment. I don't like him. I didn't like the whole Ishimaru like multiple personality power up thing. I get it, but I didn't really like it. Like I preferred like the other Ishimaru, the actual Ishimaru better than like the power up Ishimaru where oh yeah, I'm powering up and being like this to get over my like it was really weird. I didn't like it. Like he didn't have to do that to get like the power up. He could have just like gotten over it gradually. But normal Ishimaru is going to be tier because I do like normal Ishimaru. Normal Ishimaru was great. And then there's the iconic line, okay, close your eyes and whoever is the killer, raise your hand. That's one of the funniest things to me. Just, yes, obviously the killer is gonna raise their hand, admit they killed someone because logic, let me get exposed for my crimes. He had some very funny moments, and obviously the main moment everyone remembers is Mondo's death. And oh my gosh, Mondo's death. That hurt. It's like watching Ishimaru cry over Mondo's death. And especially because there's the ones, like, he's like, oh, Ishimaru, you voted for yourself. And that was really funny to me, like, because there's, like, characters that vote for themselves. Like, I think it happens, like, there's only a few times it happens when, like, a character votes something they know is obviously wrong to get because they don't want to believe who the killer was. Like, I think it happens also to in Gonta's trial with Kaido. I'm like I don't know who it is. Like it could have been anyone, but like I'm pretty sure it was Kaido who votes Kokichi instead of Gonta, even though having solid proof Gonta did it. You don't want to believe it was Gonta because Gonta is such a sweet being. Don't know how it got to this again, but back to Ishimaru, him voting for himself over Mondo was really, really sad. And just execute me instead. Oh my god. Especially after they just became friends. Like, it's a really cute. And, like, I get it, they just became friends, but, like, they were, like, arguing and they had their enemies quarrel, but then they became best friends, and then after they finally sorted out their differences and became friends, he dies. Mondo died. and then Ishimaru was left alone. And this is like a sad Ishimaru fact I'm gonna spout, which is it might not be true, so take it with a grain of salt. But Ishimaru didn't eat anything after Mondo's death because he didn't want to accidentally eat something that contained Mondo butter in it because he didn't want to eat his friend, which is really sad because plus that on top of that he would have died hungry, which is heartbreaking. Junko and Oshima. So Junko's next. Yeah, I like Junko. Okay, Junko and Oshima. Yeah, I like her. Her split personalities are funny. And she's very like, yeah, I like her like personality changes. I think they're better in the second game when she's like on the giant iPhone. I like that I like that Junko better than the first game Junko because I just do. The second game Junko like with the alter ego thing and she's like, "Yeah, you guys are remnants of despair." And her changing personalities is really funny. But at the same time she was not the best character ever. So she was not like amazing. So that's that. And now to the plethora of K characters. Kibo. Kibo? Hmm, yeah. I feel like B tier is getting really full. Like, but Kibo, I like Kibo. Kibo's really was not. I don't mind Kibo. Like, he's good. His ending thing was really cool. He did fade into the background for a lot of it, but when he was on screen, he was pretty funny. There's a lot of funny moments with Kibo. And I think the point was he faded into the background because he was supposed to represent the audience, and the audience saw things through Kibo's eyes. So by seeing through Kibo's eyes, Kibo being the representative for the audience, it makes sense why he would fade into the back because the audience isn't actively participating. Kaede is gonna go with Chiaki. I don't know why. Like, I feel like I should like Chiaki and Kaede. I just don't like them that much. Chiaki and Kaede were both very just, characters to me. Like, they were nice, they were sweet, they had morals and stuff, but at the same time, they kind of just existed. There was no, like, oh my god, Chiaki. Well, and here's the thing. Actually, Kaede was almost worse than Chiaki because at least Chiaki survived to this fifth trial, right? Fifth. Yeah, I think it's fifth. She survived to the fifth trial, but Kaede like dies trial one, which like as a protagonist, the protagonist swap was cool. But Kaede dies trial one, which isn't really doing her character any favors. Maybe if she lived longer, I would have liked her more. I don't know. But again, she just felt very generic, nice girl character. Almost like Makoto. Like, very similar to Makoto, actually. Like, that's how Kaede felt. She's just very, like, Makoto-y, where she was very, oh yeah, I'm this. Ha ha ha, I'm this. Like, I'm gonna inspire hope in everyone. Which, at least she had an ultimate talent, though. Like, she was, like, from the main series, the main three games, she was the first protagonist with an ultimate talent. And I do, I do find the fact that her tape had her saying she had no faith in humanity was kind of funny. Like, I'm perfect for a killing game because I have no faith in humanity. That was funny to me. Kaido. I like Kaido. I actually like Kaido. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't like him, and I don't know why, because Kaido to me is very just very energetic, that very energetic, like, bro, best friend type character. And he, at the same time as being that energetic bro, best friend type character, he also has morals and, like, he has a pretty good arc too with his whole, oh, I'm like, I want to be a real hero. I want to be like this hero character that everyone can look up to, and you're my sidekick. And I get how that would get annoying, but I feel like like what Kaido was really trying to do was just trying to boost morale and be a hero. And when he and Kokichi execute their grand plan, he's doing it. He's being a true hero and sacrificing, which, yeah, that made that hurt. That trial, or the fifth trial of the third game, really hurt. Like, especially with them both dying. No, I was like not happy about that. I was like, during that trial, I was just like, okay, so here's what's gonna happen. Like, there's like a whole point where I was just like, no, what happened actually is it isn't Kokichi or Kaido, and it's actually just some random thing. Like, they replaced someone else's dead body or something, and that's that's what I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe they were both alive. Unfortunately, they weren't. Well, unfortunately, Kokichi was dead, and then Kaido was gonna die. But the fact that Kaido died via the despair disease instead of his execution was like a final "fu Monokuma. I'm gonna go out like a real hero." And him dying in space was so perfect. Well, especially because of his like whole "I can't die yet. I haven't gone to space yet. I can't die." Hmm. Kyoko. Kyoko is some. Yeah, we'll put her here. I like her slightly better than, like, okay, there's the three groups of characters. There's the protagonists, the antagonists, and like the helper characters. Like, I don't know what to call them, like, but you know what I'm talking about, like the side character kind of characters. But Kyoko is like my favorite of those like three helper side characters, even though, like, I'm gonna call Kaede a helper because she died and Shuichi was the main protagonist. But um, out of like those three like side helper female characters, um, Kyoko is my favorite because Kyoko was just really, like, I liked the cold, like, detective mysterious character. She was pretty cool. Like, I didn't really like her at the beginning of the game because of how standoffish she was, but like when you got to know her, she had her charming moments. Like, again, I wouldn't call her like best girl or anything. Like, she's not my best girl character or anything, but I do like her. I do like I do like Kyoko and I appreciate her character. And she was very helpful, so that was nice. Kurumi. Okay, fun fact number one. I share a birthday with Kurumi. But number two, I'm going to put Kurumi here. Not just because we share a birthday though. Kurumi, I liked Kurumi. Like, she didn't really have much, but she's very much like trying to serve and help everyone, which it feels weird to put Kurumi so high, but and her thing with the prime minister and like the consensual death, like trying to kill to save everyone. But I think the best part, like that's landing Kurumi so high, is her execution and like her being, I think that Kurumi is the only character to actively try to escape their execution. Like, unless we're counting like Chiaki's anime execution, like Kurumi's the only one to actively run from her execution, and like the little game over thing where instead of Monokuma dragging him to their fate, it's Kurumi just running and then it's Monokuma like, wait up. Oh, and then like her determination during the execution of her just climbing and climbing and climbing and then not making it to the top was really, that hurt. I liked Kurumi. Like, not my like absolute favorite, but I really liked Kurumi. I don't have a reason, but I just do. Kokichi. That feels so basic. Like, Kokichi, like, the antagonist characters, you love them or you hate them. Like, you either love the antagonists or you hate the antagonists. I love the antagonists. So, Kokichi. I really liked Kokichi. He's my favorite of the three antagonists. Possibly, like, I would put him as one of my favorite Danganronpa characters. Like, if not my favorite Danganronpa character, he's like top 5, definitely. But Kokichi, like, very elaborate, very like the whole idea of lies as a character and his picking out of lies, and he has some really good lines, especially the one where I think it's trial 4. He's like, you all gang up on me and try to bully me and try to take me down. But now when Gaunt is about to be executed, you pretend to be good people. And then the rivalry between Kaido and Kokichi is really just, I love the rivalry between the two and the idea of them working together, because like this is something I saw in a video by Weeby News, but the idea that they represent belief and doubt, which I think is probably the perfect comparison between the two, and the fact that they're both so similar yet so different was really interesting to see with their rivalry. And okay, another thing I like loved was the character that knows everything. Like like a lot of the time the antagonists, like at least Nagito and Kokichi, like Byakuya kind of too. They know everything. They have the case solved by the time you get into the case. Like, but they just choose not to tell because they want to like be dramatic, and I think that's really cool. Okay, and I spent a lot of time talking about Kokichi, but we're going to continue, like, because there's one last thing I wanted to mention, which is the difference between Celeste and Kokichi. Both characters, like, were meant to represent liars and the concept of liars, but the fact that they go about it so differently is really cool. Like, even though they're not from the same game, but like Celeste's lying is mainly just based on not telling the truth and just like hiding emotion. Whereas Kokichi's is overexposing emotion, so they can't tell what's the lie, what's the truth, and almost like manipulating them, which was really cool. And yeah, you better bet his death made me sad. Correcchio! Correcchio. Correcchio. Correcchio, something. I think it's Correcchio. I'm not sure. Something like that. But I don't like him. The incest sister thing was really weird. He was very creepy, and he didn't add anything to the game. Granted, he was better than Hifumi. Like, I wasn't like waiting, like, when you get. Actually, let's move him up. He's better than Hifumi. I wasn't like waiting for him to die. I was kind of just like generally weirded out by Correcchio. Not my favorite. Like all in all, not my favorite. Leon. I'm gonna go right there. Leon again is not a very oh my gosh, I love you character. He's just very He's his first trial, like definitely his trial and execution are the most memorable parts of the character. But something I do want to appreciate with Leon is the fact that his character is he's one of the only characters to actually use their ultimate talent as a part of their murder, like using the baseball star thing as like a defining thing that helped define his murder. Like I don't think a lot of characters really do that with their murders. Like besides him, Korekiyo does it too. And I think Teru Teru does it. Like, and then Mikan like lures people by believing she's a nurse, but not really. Besides, no, Peko. Pekka's who I was thinking of. The sword, she uses the sword trick. But besides those few, a lot of the murderers don't really use their ultimate talents. So it's nice to see the ultimate talents coming to use. And the thousand blows. Oh boy, that's one of my favorite executions. Like, just, it's brutal and it's honestly really cool. Next is Mahiru. Mahiru, the ultimate photographer, and she's going to go in the same tier as Leon. And something I gotta point out with Mahiru and Leon, they're kind of forgettable. Like, I kind of forgot they both existed. Like, if it wasn't for Hyoko mentioning Mahiru, I would have forgotten she existed. And Leon, besides the first death, besides, after his trial, after he's dead, I don't think he ever gets mentioned again. Like, maybe once when they're mentioning off all the characters that died. But, yeah, Mahiru, just, not, like, she's nice. She has, like, a tame version of Tenko's, like, men thing. Like, a lot tamer of a version, but Mahiru just isn't my favorite. She exists. Next is Maki. Maki's average. Let's put her right next to Kyoko. They have that same, like, personality swap. Not personality swap, the talent swap where she lied about her talent and then, like, it gets revealed. Like, I liked that. I kind of knew she wasn't a child caregiver. I mean, it was like like Maki the whole time was being very like not like friendly. I feel like if you're the ultimate child caregiver, the ultimate child caregiver would be someone like Ibuki or Kaede or Asahina or even Angie, like where they're very upbeat and peppy and like so the ultimate assassin reveal. And then when she thought she killed Kaido was also it was kind of sad, but besides that, Maki is not the most like special. I don't know. I like her, just not that much. Mekumaru. Oh, they're considering Mekumaru and Nekumaru different characters. He doesn't really change, but both versions of him go into the A tier for me. I like his like coach mentality and like he was very funny at moments where he was just like funny, and at the same time that coach mentality and the self-sacrifice Nekomaru makes twice. Twice he sacrifices himself in order to save others, and that's like really bold. Like he sacrifices himself for Akane, comes back as a robot, and sacrifices himself again. That's really Makoto. Makoto. Oh, this Mikon. Makoto. Yeah. No surprise, I don't like Makoto. He's has the personality of a doormat. Like he was not very entertaining for me. Like I get it, he's the player character. He's better as a player character. Like if he was a normal character, he would probably be well, actually no. He gets to move up a tier because he's the player character. But and I get it, first protagonist. He has cool moments and stuff. I just don't like him. He's he probably would have died in the beginning if he didn't have protagonist syndrome, which is like, oh, the protagonist won't die unless we're talking about Kaede. But he was just very there. He wasn't very special. And his talent, I don't like his talent. Like, I have gripes with his talent of Ultimate Lucky Student. Because here's the thing, like, with the Ultimate Lucky Student. Like, Nagito is also the Ultimate Lucky Student, but Nagito's luck is, like, something that you can control. Like, something almost, like, you can understand its luck and control the luck. Whereas Makoto is just like, oh yeah, I got accepted into the school, and also my door broke. That's unlucky. And then, oh yeah, Chihiro saved him, which isn't even like luck. That's just Chihiro being nice, the alter ego Chihiro. But besides that, he doesn't really have luck. He's not very lucky. He's kind of just there. An ultimate lucky student is like just a standoff for his actual talent of, I think, Ultimate Hope is his actual talent, which is very just okay. Yeah, you're the Ultimate Hope. It's very like friendship magic-esque, where you're just like, oh yeah, it's the power of friendship, the power of hope, the power of determination. Like, yeah, he's a very basic protagonist. He doesn't, yeah, he doesn't really need that much said. Mikan, you, my dear, deserve to be with Hifumi. I do not like Mikan. I absolutely hate Mikan. Like, I never liked her from the beginning, and again, she was one of the characters I kind of like. She was one of the characters where I was like, like. But here's the thing: she would have probably been here or here, maybe, if. But her murder is like the way she kills is so bogus, and especially with the fact that these two are some of my favorites. Um, her idea of murdering and then somehow she runs like, oh my god. So like I just want to break it down. Like she murders Kyoko, ties her to the pole. Okay, sure. There's no way she could have like filmed the video, have Hajime run over. She sees Hajime run away. Now she has to run over. Like say Hajime's gone, best case scenario, 15 minutes. Now she has to run into the warehouse, tear down that wallpaper that's taller than her and that's probably heavy, especially when she mentioned she's clumsy and not very strong. Put it in the warehouse, and then break the drumstick, and then glue the door shut, and then run away so Hajime can get there. There's no way she's doing that in 15 minutes. And her murder motive, like, I'm killing for my beloved. No, it was like I actually have a way I would fix Mikan's murder, and maybe I'll talk about it some other time, like, because I have, like, I could dedicate a whole thing to how broken Mikan's murder is and how I would fix it, but yeah, that's that. Mew, I like Mew. Mew is gonna, yeah, Mew can go up here. She was very, like, funny, very, like, just very funny. That's, like, the main thing with Mew. She's very funny, very oh yeah, I'm like here, ha ha ha. Her jokes are funny, and like I'm a gorgeous girl genius. I liked Mew. Like I didn't hate her. She didn't have anything wrong with her, and the and I did appreciate the I'm like I was gonna kill this person, but now I'm getting killed thing. Like that's kind of I like those. But besides that, Mew is just like, I don't know. She probably shouldn't be making it this high, but I like her. Mondo is gonna be right here. I like Mondo. Mondo is a good character. Mondo is very, just, he's very brutal, but like, he has one of the, he's sympathetic. Like, I really feel bad for him, especially when he kills Chihiro, and he's like, oh my god, I'm sorry, Chihiro. Like, I shouldn't have killed you. Like, he's the only murderer, like, to flat out say, I would take it back. Like, no other murderer across the Danganronpa series ever says regret. Like, maybe they regret killing him, but he's the only one who flat out says, I would take it back if given the option. Like, him, maybe Peko says it, but I'm mainly just him. And his like dead brother thing and the fact that he's like Peck Chihiro trusted me and then I killed him and oh my god. The Ishimaru like Mondo moment, it's really sad and honestly Mondo and Ishimaru both deserve better. Next is Mukuro Ikosava, and Mukuro Ikosava is gonna go down here, right below Junko. It If we're going on the Mukuro in the game, like, yeah, she's cool, but like I don't love her or anything. I feel like a lot of people love Mukuro. I'm not one of those people. I just find her average. She's okay. She exists, and that's about it. That's like I do like the fact that the whole like foreshadowing, like if you were to go back and play the game after Junko dies, like after you find out Junko was the mastermind, where she's like, it wasn't supposed to happen like this. This wasn't supposed to happen, and like, but like the despair you'd get from your sister killing you was just harsh. Nagito, ultimate lucky student. Yeah, he's going up there. I like Nagito. Again, run the risk of sounding like one of those, like, oh my god, I love the. I really do like Nagito. Like, especially with his murder plan and him being this character that, like, I think the best part is he's smart and he, like, accepts that he's smart, but at the same time, Nagito is just like, oh yeah, I know who killed him. Well, I'm not gonna tell you. I don't care. Like, that's like, this is like an iconic line. It might just be to me, but where he's like, I don't care if the the killer dies or if everyone but the killer dies. I just want like hope to be inspired and to move forward. His murder plan, like aside from Kokichi and Kaido, was probably the most complex, especially the idea of the killer not knowing they killed someone and his whole be I'm going to like use my luck to snuff out the traitor. Which that's the thing with Nagito as the ultimate lucky student versus Makoto. Nagito takes advantage of his luck and uses it and manipulates it to fit his situation. Makoto doesn't. Makoto doesn't manipulate his luck. He just is called the ultimate lucky student to give him a reason to be there before they reveal he's actually the ultimate hope. So yeah, Makoto is really not. But yeah, I do think Nagito as the ultimate lucky student is definitely a better ultimate lucky student than Makoto is. Peko Yama. I'm putting her down here. She's nice. The moment between her and Fujihiko was heartbreaking, and that's all I have to say. I do like, again, though, I do like the fact that she used her talent to help her escape, which is something not a lot of the killers do. Rantaro. Yeah, Rantaro's average for me too. He is very just, oh yeah, he's the ultimate survivor slash ultimate adventurer is his other one, I think. And the idea that he survived another killing game and is put back into one, and he's got a like, then he gets killed so quickly because he knows too much. That was like, yeah, it was but besides that, I can't think of anything really I loved about his character. Ryoma, I'm putting him here. He's also very average. The only reason I'm putting him there rather than up here with the other average people is because I don't honestly forget Ryoma exists half the time. Like, Ryoma's existence is almost forgotten to me. Like, I don't remember it, like, 90% of the time. I forget he's a character. So, yeah, that's why he's going there. Sakura. Sakura is going right up here in my favorites. Sakura's suicide is my favorite trial from the first game, and will probably always be one of my favorite trials. Like, it's simple. It's a fairly simple trial. Like, the idea of a suicide isn't new, but the relationship between Asahina and Sakura made it so much sadder. And Sakura being so noble to kill herself so no one else has to die. A murder to end all murders is the most noble murder, especially when she's the only one who would die from it, rather than um rather than Kaido and Kokichi, where they also are trying to end all the murders, but 2 deaths instead of 1. And again, Kaido would have died anyway because he died from the illness. Sayaka Mizuno is going down here. Like, I have no reason to hate Sayaka. It's just, she's like Chiaki and Kaede to me, just worse. Like, she doesn't live very long. I do like her, like, going insane moments and her, like, I'm psychic. Ha 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 ha. No, I just have good intuition. Like, that's funny. I liked that. And then she, like, kind of dies quickly. The fact that she planned a murder and frame it on Makoto was interesting, but besides that, I have nothing really to say. I guess she's just there. I don't hate her. I don't like hate her, but she's going in D tier because she's really not that fantastic, and I can't really think of anything great about her, like, that would move her up or down a tier. Shuichi, is he better or worse than I'm gonna put him up here. Okay, like, not again, like, seemed like a weird choice to put him so high, but I like him. I think he's my favorite of the protagonists. And like, for the protagonists, he probably has like the most unique of like the best personality. Like, in general, the protagonists don't get like much personality. Yes, Shuichi doesn't get a lot, but he does get some. I like him, and the idea, and this one's gonna be kind of more pre-game related, but the idea of him being like, oh yeah, I want to be an ultimate detective and plan a murder that no one's ever gonna get. Like, I like that. Also, just, I don't know why. He's another one of those characters where he has no reason to be as high as I'm putting him right now, but he's gonna be put this high because, like, he has no reason to be up here, but I'm putting him up here anyway. Okay, Kazuichi. That might be controversial. Kazuichi annoys me. Kazuichi really, really annoys me. Because the whole game, he was a mechanic, right? But then he was like a useless mechanic. He was just like, yeah, I'm a mechanic. But then he's scared. Like, he makes the thing. He makes that, the, what is it? The surveillance, like, Skype call thing that they use. I don't remember what it was called, but he makes that, but besides that, he doesn't really do much as a mechanic. He gets very panicky through the whole game and like, what the fuck is going on, which is funny, I guess. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, I just don't like him. And then his Miss Sonia thing, which is okay, but at the same time, weird. And here's something I feel like never gets pointed out. Teru, everyone always points out how, like, Teru and Hifumi are both perverts and they only make sexual jokes. Well, Kazuichi, like, dedicates a whole thing to him wanting to see them and bathe all the girls in bathing suits, yet no one talks about it. Like, no one mentions why was it not weird when Kazuichi did it, but weird when Teru and Hifumi do it. Yeah, I don't think Kazuichi should have survived. And he was basically the Yasuhiro of that game where with his survival, and he should have, like, he probably shouldn't have made it as far as he did. And if they were going to kill, like, if they were going to do it, I would have rather they killed Kazuichi and saved Ibuki. But that's just my bias showing. Miss Sonia. Yeah, she's not very great. I don't like a lot of these very, like, sweet female protagonists. Like, some of it depends. Like, some of them I like and some of them I don't. It just really depends. Miss Sonia, I don't really like. She's just, again, I think a lot of the survivors from V2 or Danganronpa 2 are gonna be put lower because I don't like it. Like, I, it, like, kind of upsets me that Miss Sonia, and, like, it's upsetting to me that all these people survived when I would have rather different people survive. Like, yes, Nekomaru and Gundam's deaths were meaningful, but honestly, I would have preferred Nekomaru's survival to Akane's. And I feel like what would have been cool, like, because Nekomaru turned into a robot and because he saved Akane, something I would have liked to see, which probably wouldn't have happened ever, but it would have been cool, is if Akane, like, because Nekomaru killed himself for Akane, Akane would die to save Nekomaru, like, and it would be like an eye for an eye thing, and it would be really, I feel like that would have been cool. Tenko! I like Tenko. Tenko, I like her. She has that very, like, emotional, like, dramatic personality. Her Neo Aikido is, like, really cool. And honestly, Tenko dying was upsetting. It's just, along the whole series, Tenko's death, like, it hurt, especially with Himiko's, because it just Himiko running over to be like, Tenko. And then the whole, like, I didn't care about her when she was alive. Like, I should have cared about Tenko when she was alive. Oh, this is something that does annoy me with the trial for Tenko and Angie's, like, when Koriki gets found out. Korikio, however you pronounce it, I feel like I'm always pronouncing it wrong. Um, when it gets found out, to me, it's kind of funny where it's just like, oh, Korikio is that? He's, like, getting, like, Korekio. I think something that I wished wasn't happening with this trial specifically is they bring up the idea of a double murder case. Well, what if both of the killers, like, what if the person who killed the first person didn't kill the second person? Which was a cool idea, and I honestly would like to see that used. But then it ended up being Korekio for both. So what was the point of bringing up that idea? Yeah, that's what I have to say the most about that. But I do like Tenko. Teru Teru! Everyone's least favorite chef, but I'm putting him there. I don't hate Teru Teru, like, as much as most people. And honestly, I kind of cry at his death. Like, I kind of cry at his death. Like, his death legitimately makes me sad. Like, him wanting to see his mom and then him being like, Mama, Mama, please. Like, he just wants to find out what happened to his mom. And, like, and then the fact that he wants to, like, his plan was really to kill Nagito because Nagito said he was going to kill someone. Like, that, honestly. Teru Teru was like, I feel like he's a killer that you, like, even as unlikely as it would seem, like, you have sympathy for him. Okay, next is Genocider show. Genocider Jack, Genocider, like, genocide someone. Like, just genocide. Like, sometimes it's called Genocide Jack, sometimes it's called Genocide Jill, sometimes it's called Genocider show. I think that's only in the anime version, though. Genocider. I'm going to put Genocide Jack. Genocide Jill. I'm gonna put her I'm going to put them separately because I don't see them the same. Okay, I'm going to put Genocide Jill up here. No, actually, here's the compromise. Okay, originally I was going to put Genocider on A tier and put like Toko on C. But I would say they both could be on B tier, and that's the compromise. Like, cause honestly, Toko in a way reminds me of Mikan. They're kind of similar. Their hair is the exact same color. I am like just realizing this. Their hair is the exact same color, but Toko is just like she did kind of annoy me, especially with their whole like she over like apologized, which I thought I was gonna like her more than I did. She's better in Ultra Despair Girls, but if we're breaking this just on the main series games, that's where I would put her. If we were including the Ultra Despair Girls version, if I was gonna consider her as part of Ultra Despair Girls, these two would be up to A. Smoogie, the Mastermind, aka yeah, there. I don't like Smoogie very much. Surprise, surprise, but Smoogie just isn't great for me. Like, sure, she could be cool. She has the potential to be cool. She just, it just felt like, okay, one thing I did like was her shifting between all the personalities over and over again, where she was like, oh, I'm this, but now I'm this, and I'm this. I liked that. But I didn't like her. She felt like Junko again, honestly. And and that was the point, was if you like repeat the killing games. But I just didn't like her that much, honestly. Like, I don't know. Like, she was so plain. Like, her personality was so plain, and that was the point, was again, it was supposed to be like Kibo, where she blended into the background, and that's why. But I don't like that. Like, I didn't like Kibo. Like, Junko's death was like weird. I mean, Smoogie, like, just being Junko was really weird to me. Didn't enjoy Smoogie as Junko very much. And yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And finally, our last person, Yasuhiro Hagakure. I'm putting him here. Okay, I was going to put him lower, but we'll put him here. Yasuhiro, I don't have anything wrong with him, except for the fact that they almost made him too dumb for his own good. Like, he's funny, yes, but they made him way too dumb for his own good. Like, him being like, oh yeah, I'm like Kyoko, and Kyoko's a ghost. Like, he was, like, he wasn't funny dumb, he was like very just dumb, and kinda annoyed me that he survived. Like, if he didn't survive, maybe he'd be higher, but honestly, he seems like the kind of character who would have died in the first chapter, which he does in the demo, and somehow survives in the actual game. But yeah, that's where Yasuhiro is, and this is my completed tier list. So on the top tier, we have Asahina, Fujihiko with the eye patch, like pre-Peko Fujihiko, Gonta, Gundam, Kaido, Kokichi, Nagito, and Sakura. Oh yeah, well, actually, let me, and now I'm gonna like kind of put them in order. Actually, let's see. Let me just shift things around a bit now that we see the completed one. If I'm shifting things around and I was like putting these in order of how much I liked them, you go higher, you go higher, you go higher, you. Yeah, that would be my order for the.
I'm just gonna shift them slightly based on how much I like them. Yeah, Byakuya would stay in front. He, I like Kurumi, but she would be at the tail end. Yeah, that's how that one would go. Now this one, he would be down. Junko would probably be down. This is like Fujihiko again, so I guess he would move up. Hajime, let's move Mondo with Ishimaru because I like him about the same. Yeah, Rantaro can move down like there. Okay, now I'm just making pointless modifications to put them in the order of how much I like them. Move her down more. And I like Kyoko. Yeah, that's the order. Anji, he can move up. Makoto move down. Kaede and Chiaki move down. Mukuro can stay. Ryoma can move up there. There we go. And this tier actually. Okay. And I think that's like my order in how I would rank them from left to right is basically. This is basically the order of which I like the characters. Left to right, then move down, then that's basically the order, I guess. Well, that was kind of fun. Took a while. I'm probably not going to edit any of this because who needs editing? It's some random girl on the internet making a tier list. But who knows? Maybe I'll make another one if my opinions change, or maybe I'll make ones for different things. I have plans to make some for like different musicals I like or different maybe ships. That would be an interesting one. But we'll see. But after all that, this is the finished tier list and I hope you all enjoyed it. Um I don't know what else to say, so signing off. Bye.